Hey, I'm here today with, let's see if we can get it to show up, the Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle. And I'm going to read some, maybe one or two oracle cards for us today. Let's see what comes up. I'll just string this. Alright, and while I'm shuffling here, you may take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes if that feels good to you. If it doesn't, you might just find a spot to look at. And if you find yourself thinking about things that have happened in the past or worrying about things that could happen in the future, just try to bring your mind back to something in the present moment. Some sensation in your body, the feeling of your body meeting the floor, or perhaps following your breath, or even counting breaths. One card came out already. I guess they wanted to show. First card that came out is the Trout Lily, but Patience. I have a feeling there's another card coming out. There it is. This is Salal, Subdue. Let's read what the book has to tell us about these. Trout. Yeah. This plant, the trout lily, doesn't flower for the first 4 to 7 years of its life. Oh, it does say let's go with that then. It can be hard to look beyond instant gratification, is essentially the message here. But this is a plant that builds strong community ties with the colonies of ants that feed on it. And this is just a sign to us. We can use this plant as an oracle to understand that developing these kinds of deep community bonds and relationships can take a lot of time. It's not something that will happen quickly, and that when we focus more on immediate gratification or dealing with this, to me, is saying, like, with our emotions even, it's like, how are we showing patience with ourselves whenever we're in situations that we want to see a really quick, fast change, but that may not be the most permanent change, that may not be the most beneficial change or the most realistic change. And while we would love to see things change drastically overnight, there are some cases where that's not going to happen, that it's going to take a lot of time, and that building trust with people will take time. And there's not really anything else that we can, there's nothing that can substitute that. There's nothing that can take that place. And so, yep. This is the slow path is the only path. Alright, and the next card is Salal. Subdue. Salal, Shalom, Gal, Theria. Can be easily mistaken for poison oak, which grows together with the plant. But it has berries that have a very unique flavor. Used as a sweetener, a fruit, source of vitamins, and various other purposes. Both the berries and the young leaves of the plant are both edible and are an efficient appetite suppressant. Interesting. They say they relate this to the tarot cards of Temperance and the Chariot. Moderation, balance, the suppression of urges that would be detrimental to your life, And the Chariot is a card that speaks of will, marshaling your strengths and subduing anything that will distract from your forward motion at times to one's detriment. Balance is the constant reminder. Balance, I don't like that terminology, balance. I like harmony. How can we bring both of these in so that neither is cutting the other down? That's harmony to me versus balance. Balance to me feels like just like 50-50 or 60-40 or whatever, but like it's kind of, to me, more fixed. Maybe I'm wrong, but I like the word harmony, and that's something that like over the last year that I've been like, moving away from using balance and moving more towards using that terminology that feels better to me. Subdue those things that are not helpful, but remember to be kind to yourself and your community. And our hunger can be not so helpful sometimes, especially if we're talking about emotional, things here. Like this could be like an ego hungering for old patterns, or for like an ego, like a soul wanting to experience anger because it hasn't been okay to experience anger before. And so like a soul being hungry to experience that expression of anger so that this rage can dissipate. And as an artist, I know that for me, like it takes a lot of time to figure out the right way to express some kind of emotion and feeling sometimes. And so this could be saying take patience to feel our feelings and suppress the urge to act on them before we fully understand what it is that they want to communicate to us as an individual, before we communicate that to somebody else. And I think that to me is the important message here, is that that just lengthening that time between when we feel something, we want to act, then reflecting on what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm mad? And by showing my anger, am I expecting that other person or this situation or this institution to change things in order to accommodate me? And if that's the case, am I still willing to act on that? Is that the kind of person that I want to be? Is there a better way to think about it? Is there a better person to speak to? Is there a better way to call attention or to seek out some kind of resolution? Or, are there more questions that I need to ask? Is there more investigation that needs to be done? Is there more research that needs to be done? Anything of that nature. So that's a message, is try to expand on that time from whenever we feel something and we want to instantly gratify ourselves by saying, well, I'm angry, I'm allowed to be angry, and I'm going to act out with my anger, or I'm going to act out with my happiness, my enthusiasm, and things of that nature. How can we expand on that time and say, what am I doing here? Am I doing this to cause harm? Am I doing this to share the joy that I have? Am I doing this to change the situation? Am I doing this, to inspire, influence, so on and so forth. So there's lots to think on and journal on and meditate on here. Thank you.